Hey guys, Frank again. Welcome to week 4. I guess it's week 4. I can't believe it's been a month already. I mean, 4 weeks doesn't always make a month, but it's been a month, and I'm enjoying psychology. I guess. I mean, I've at least learned a lot about my friends, so that's good. Uh, Speaking of some of my friends, I know that everybody else is talking a lot about the prank that certain people that I know pulled this morning, or last night, I guess. But I going to talk about the assignment first, and then I'll get uh, to the ice. I've never been happy that I had to post on Mondays before, but I guess it's cool to be one of the first to talk about it. But Reem, it's not your fault. Like I saw your video and I felt so bad because you didn't make that decision. That's on them. It's not on you at all. So just don't blame yourself. And if you need anything, just call me or you can just come over. I'm in my room. Well, I'm in the lounge right now, but I could be in my room, and we could kick my roommate out, or we could call Jamie to. No, we'll kick my roommate out. So this week's assignment is to talk about a class that has affected us, and things have been kind of gloomy in the videos recently. I feel like so. I'm going to talk about two classes because I can't leave the sad one out. But I wanted to kind of talk about a happier one because, yeah. So the more positive, happier class, I guess, that I took my freshman year in the fall, and it was a gender studies class, and it was really cool because I grew up in Nebraska, and not the most diverse place in the world. Like it's not bad, I, but it's not there's not like a lot of people, so there's not a huge um, diversity factor. But so I went and I took a gender studies class, and I got introduced to all these things that I'd never heard of before, and I had no idea that you could be pansexual. I had no idea what that was. I didn't know about asexuality. It was I just never met anybody and just never heard about it, and to kind of see that there's everything is kind of on a spectrum and people fall kind of where they do. It's really kind of opened my eyes in a really good way. And so now when my friends talk to me about hey, I think I'm asexual, I'm like, hey, I know what that is, and I don't feel like such a jerk asking them to explain it. But yeah, it's been really good, and I just now I'm surrounded by so many people that identify so many different things, and I never expected that. But it's so great because everyone's so cool, and I love everybody so much. But I think that if I hadn't taken that class, I don't know, like I would have probably still been friends with them, but I don't know if I would have been as comfortable talking to them because I wouldn't have really known what to talk about, or I would have been afraid to kind of offend them. So it's good. So gender studies, yeah. So the more melancholy class that I took was called genocide, and it was a history class, and both classes really opened my eyes to a lot of things, in different ways though. So in genocide, we first kind of went over statistics, these groups have been marginalized and these groups have been wiped out, and these people have been attacked just because they're what they are, and so that sucks because you know seeing graphs and charts of just numbers and realizing that every single one of those numbers is a person kind of was hard. But then we got into, the psychology and the motives behind everything and what kind of defines a genocide and how the UN defines genocide, and if we thought things that the UN didn't identify as genocide were genocide, and it was the most depressing thing I've ever done in my life, but so interesting, and I think so important to learn about it so that it doesn't happen again. It was super crazy to see how people rationalized, murdering women and children and, people in general, but, how can you kill a child? I just don't get it, but, they did, and so many people went along with it, and it was just, I guess to us here, where we're safe, it's not really a worry or a concern, but in other places, it's still happening. And so that was kind of rough to come to terms with. All right, on to the part that you've all been waiting to hear about. So last night, Jamie and Sirius decided that it would be a really good idea to turn the halls of the Student Activity Center into ice. I guess they thought it was funny. I myself have mixed feelings about it. Because on the one hand, ice indoors. On the other hand, ice skating indoors. So basically, what happened is I was up really late last night studying with Regulus, and then I was sleeping, and I had a phone call from Alice, and she was like, "Have you been to the Student Activity Center yet?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be there in 5 minutes," and I didn't really know what was going on, but she showed up and she had ice skates in her hands, and very confusing. But I was drugged to the Student Activity Center and put into some ice skates, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm not the most graceful, just in general. So put me on ice, and it's not the prettiest thing you've ever seen. But Alice is really good at ice skating, so she kind of towed me along, and I may have fallen 12 or 13 times. But, what's a little bit of bruising when you get to ice skate with with Alice? And I'm not saying that we spent hours on the hallways made of ice until they thawed it, but I'm not saying that that didn't happen. And there may or may not have been hand-holding, but it was necessary because I fell a lot, and yeah. So it was fun, but on a more serious note, it was also really dangerous, and I know that some people got hurt, and Jamie, Sirius, I know you guys are super funny, and you like a good laugh, and you know that I love you guys, but maybe not the safest decision that you ever made. So maybe next time you're doing a prank, run it by me, and I can just play devil's advocate for a little while, so that we can do something that's funny, but also not gonna hurt anybody. Like, I know you guys didn't mean to hurt anybody, and you never do, but maybe just think.